Hi, everybody. Happy to have you here with me tonight in the Locher Room. I'm Alan Locher. Tonight, we are all coming together to celebrate and honor the life and legacy of Eileen Fulton, the legendary actress who brought As the World Turns, Unforgettable, Lisa, Miller, Hughes, Eldridge, Shea, Coleman, McCall, Mitchell, Grimaldi to life for nearly 50 years. Eileen's portrayal of Lisa changed the face of daytime television. What began as a good girl role evolved into one of soap opera's most iconic, fiery, and complex women, a character who made millions fall in love with her and sometimes love to hate her. Her influence went far beyond Oakdale. Eileen's portrayal made such an impact that for years, Lisa became one of the most popular baby names in America, a testament to how deeply the character resonated with audiences everywhere. Eileen passed away this past July at the age of 91, leaving behind a remarkable legacy of strength, wit, and authenticity that forever changed the landscape of daytime TV. To begin tonight's tribute, I am honored to be joined by one man who shared decades of screen time and friendship with Miss Eileen, Mr. Don Hastings. We'll start our conversation with him and later be joined by Dolan, Gregg Marx, Hilary Bailey Smith, and Colleen Zenk to share their memories, stories, and reflections. Eileen was so much more than a TV star. She was a pioneer, a trailblazer, and a true original. Let's celebrate her life, her work, and the unforgettable mark she left on all of us who loved her. Please welcome Don Hastings, everybody.
Good evening.
Hello there, sir.
How are you, Alan?
I am so good, and it's so good to see you. You look like not a day has gone by since 2011.
I've been hair and makeup for about 6 hours. So.
Of course you. Yeah, of course. I told you backstage, Andy Hall, a fan, just shared these pictures.
Wow.
Look at that.
Who are those people? I look like I'm about to bite her on the neck.
I haven't seen these. They're fabulous. Fabulous pictures.
She was beautiful, just beautiful. Beautiful person.
She really was. Do you remember the first time you met her?
Yes, I do. The first day that I was on World Turns, and I met her at the morning. Seems to me it was a morning rehearsal, or maybe it was a read-through. I think I met her at the read-through, which we used to do. You would get off the air and then read the script for the next day, and then block some of the scenes, and then go in the morning. And then Mr. Corday, who ran the show, didn't want to see anybody with a script in their hand in the morning at 7:30. And I remember one of the things I remember about Eileen was the scene was between the two of us, and I forget the director's name, but anyway, we were facing each other, and she said, "Jimmy, could we do this the other way? Because I have a good side." And I said, "What if we both had the same good side? We would never face each other. And we're supposed to be lovers." Anyway. But she was just a hoot. She was very funny, very witty, and just beautiful. Just a beautiful person.
You came over from Edge, correct?
Yeah, the same week. I had done Edge of Night Monday and Tuesday, and then changed studios, which we were both being televised at what is now Fox, but it was, I think it was Westinghouse at that time, owned the studios, but CBS ran them. And it was a matter of going from the 5th floor to the 1st floor and changing dressing rooms that I moved from Edge of Night to As the World Turns.
Wow. Did you know who she was when you got there?
No, I didn't. I did not know her before that. I knew a lot of the other actors. I knew McLaughlin, of course, Don McLaughlin, who I had worked with as a kid in radio. And Nat Poland was on the show at that point, too. And,
wow. Well, I mean, you stepped into the role. I know Eileen talked about hearing, now the part of Bob Hughes will be played by Don Hastings. What was it like finding that early rhythm with her, working opposite Eileen?
I don't know. We got along pretty well. She was, at that point in her career, she was very busy. was later that she wound up doing the matinee company of Virginia Woolf. Not Virginia Woolf. What's the play with Burton and Liz Taylor?
Is that not Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf?
Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf? She was in the matinee company of that, and so was Henderson Forsyth, but that was a little later. But she was very busy. She had done some feature films and stuff like that. But I had never worked with her, nor had I met her. Even though the two casts were in the same studio, we would pass in the halls, but I didn't know her.
Wow. Did you two have the same style of working together? Was it easy from the beginning?
No, that's something else. Eileen was wonderful to work with, but it was like a lot of times it was improvisation, her version of the dialogue, rather than what Erna Phillips had written. She was once on a television show with Erna, and she said something to Erna about how difficult some of the dialogue was, and Erna said, "You never said one word that I wrote." But she would just paraphrase things. And then you were left to kind of deal with it. But she always was, she was on the money as what the scene was about, but she would, what do you call, riff a lot with the dialogue. And I think at the beginning it wasn't as much as it was later on, but we all used to do that. I mean, when you were live, you had to keep talking. It didn't matter what you were saying, as long as until 2:00 came and the cameras went off. So there was a lot of, once you were out there, your job was on the line every day.
Wow. When you think about Lisa and Bob's early marriage, how would you describe, what maybe what Eileen brought, what you brought? That, I mean, the fans loved Bob and Lisa together.
Well, it's funny because the theme that I was told was that we were going to be the happy couple. We were going to be the next Chris and Nancy Hughes. Well, that didn't happen. Once Erna saw us together or whatever, decided, the best thing we can do is split them up and have that always going on in the long arc of the show. And then, of course, having a child together. And then a lot of the stories were revolving around the son that she and I had.
Right. Yeah, absolutely.
Tom.
Absolutely.
Every actor in New York, I think, except Richard Burton, played my son Tom. I mean, every shape and size. Richard Thomas played it for a while too. In fact, there's a funny story because Erna was not crazy about him. Didn't think he looked enough like a Hughes and whatever. And then somebody said to him, and she loved the Waltons. And she said, "Oh, I love John Boy." And somebody said to her, "Well, he played Tom for a while and you weren't happy with him." And she said, "No, that's not true." When Erna said it wasn't true, it wasn't true.
Yeah, seriously. I mean, just like every Tom worked and every Margot worked.
Right.
Really,
Gregg Marx is circling the area, isn't he?
He is circling the area. He should be.
He's really
and sadly, Scott couldn't be here. He actually, Scott's in bed, I think, at this hour.
Who is
Scott? Scott is in bed at this hour.
Yeah.
Well, let's bring out some of our other folks who are here. Please welcome Hillary Bailey Smith, Colleen Zenk, and Ms. Ellen Dolan. And Gregg Marx should be here soon. Hello, ladies.
Hello, ladies.
Hello.
Hello.
Yeah, all of you ladies with Dr. Bob.
Whoa.
The scene that was never written.
Absolutely.
I love hearing those old stories about when you first came on and meeting and doing everything in live. I mean, we used to hear, Henderson was always talking about the live days.
Oh, yeah. It was interesting. Somebody one day came on the show, and he didn't last, actually. But I forget what part he was playing, and we got off the air. And after he had been on, I guess, maybe 3 times. And he said, "This is like playing the Green Bay Packers every day." And he said, and then he didn't make
it. From Chicago.
Right. And it was tough, but you were insulated against it somehow, and I don't think we were very bright. We just kept going.
Before we continue, I just want to let Larry had computer troubles. He sends his love to everybody. He couldn't be here, and Scott Bryce as well had something come up unexpectedly, and sends his love. But
has anybody heard from Scott Holmes?
Yeah, he's asleep.
He's asleep. I wasn't kidding.
He goes to sleep at
Right,
6:30.
so I thought you were thinking it.
No, I actually spoke to him.
And he's asleep?
No, I mean, not today.
But he
But I
talks in his sleep.
I had, well, we have more intimate knowledge. No, I spoke to him. He is actually living down in Charleston, and he does the tours. Mm-hmm. And I happened to have this friend that was on the tour, and she looked and went, "Oh my God, you're Tom." And so he did this whole riff, and then she goes, "Hang on a second," and she dialed me, and we got on the phone together.
Oh, what tour are you talking about?
He does
the bus tours, the trolley tours around, historic trolley tours around Charleston.
No kidding.
Yeah.
I mean, can you see him? He could be perfect.
Yeah. We went down one time because, Doug is a West Pointer. So we went down to the Army Navy game. They have them in various places, and it was down in Charleston. So I saw Scott, and I called him up. I said, "Hey, people are going to be doing tours of various places. And wouldn't it be funny if I gave you a whole bunch of names and stories and stuff, and you were the tour guide, and you just told all these stories about these guys?" And he goes, "I don't do those tours." He's like, he would not do it. He won't get up, or he won't, do these things because he goes to sleep so early, and he gets up at like 3 or 4 and still works out all the time.
Is he married again or not? Is he single or?
He's no longer married. He's been with his girlfriend on and off for a long, long time. He loves it down there. And who wouldn't love Charleston? I mean, it's beautiful.
He went to school down there in North Carolina.
I think Tom Wiggin is down there too.
Oh, really?
Is he?
I think so. Ladies, do you recall before coming to World Turns, were you aware of who Eileen Fulton was?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I was not. I was an NBC girl and an ABC girl. And I know. And so my introduction to As the World Turns, I knew who Colleen was. That I did know. I knew who Colleen was, and I knew, the whole thing with her. And because a friend of mine watched it and loved Colleen. She was like, "Oh my God, look at her. She's fabulous." So it was kind of fun to come on and meet Colleen, and then actually, get to work with her in an arch nemesis sort of way.
You've never told me that before.
I just tell you that?
No, that's very sweet. Thank you.
And you know who it was? It was Dick Wolf's first wife. How about that for Small World?
Wow.
Yeah, before they were married. She used to watch you every day.
Huh. I'll be darned. Okay.
And Colleen, did you know who she was?
I did, because my grandmother watched the show. So my mom was not a soap opera watcher. I watched a bit of Dark Shadows in high school when I was ironing, home ironing clothes. But my grandmother watched World Turns, and so I knew the characters through her. And so thank God I got cast on my grandmother's favorite show, and made her very happy. Very happy.
You spent a lot of time with Colleen.
I spent a great deal of time with Eileen. I'm going to cry. Yeah. Eileen and I were pals. Great pals. And we spent a lot of time off camera, off stage, in each other's homes in Connecticut or New York or wherever. And we knew each other intimately. We shared a lot. And ironically, Eileen was 5 days older than my mom, which I learned very early on, because she didn't lie about her age, to me at least. But so different than my mom, and very different upbringing. But the heart of Eileen was that she was a down-home Southern girl. Look who's
Eileen McClarty.
yeah,
It's my honey.
McClarty,
Yeah.
Maggie McClarty, and my mom was, you know, a little Midwestern girl, and they became not close, but they had great respect for each other and enjoyed each other's company. But Eileen and I, I'll tell some stories later as we go along.
Yeah. Ellen, and you said, were you familiar with her?
Yeah, I I was born in 55, the same year that As the World Turns was born. And my mother was the mother who had the TV in the laundry room. And I remember being, I think it was the 40th anniversary up in the Rainbow Room.
Right.
Yeah, and they had a whole bank of monitors. And I was walking by from one room to the other, and there was a scene down the left-hand bottom corner with you and Eileen. And I stopped dead because I remembered all of it from when I was probably like 5, 6 years old.
Wow.
It just like triggered this whole thing. So the show and you and Eileen have been a part of my life, like my whole life.
Oh, God.
I know that feeling, Ellen. Hello, Gregg Marx. Welcome.
Hi, Gregg Marx.
Hi, everybody.
Hey, Greg.
Hi, honey.
I've had computer not cooperating, so I'm on my cell.
Well,
Oh,
we're
you're
glad
not the
you're
only
here.
one.
Dog over here. I don't know. I can't get rid of the blur.
Well, that's been a problem for a while.
That's not a bad thing necessarily.
She's got the Barbara Walters lens.
That's great. That's great.
You don't have any wrinkles to hide.
No, my face is fine.
Mr.
It's back there.
Hastings.
I actually
Were you
turned up.
familiar with Eileen? Who Eileen
that?
was before you showed up as Tom Hughes?
Say that again, I'm sorry.
Were you familiar with who Eileen was before
I
arriving?
absolutely was. In fact, years before, I had gone to a performance at the Back Lot in West Hollywood. All I knew it was a soap diva. And it turned out it was Eileen doing her cabaret act. And little did I know that a number of years later, that would be my mom.
Oh.
So,
She
yeah.
did everything. She wrote books. She had a clothing line. I think she probably made some kind of special meatball in the kitchen somewhere.
I know about that.
She's really, an entrepreneur, I guess you would say.
And nobody made meatballs like mom.
That's right. But,
Oh, wow. That's good. I wish I had tried.
Serious comment. One of the serious comments is that I think she was probably really very talented, and especially when she was younger, she really had a shot at being a lot more than just one of us, in the daytime world. But probably the most mishandled actress I've ever known in my life.
Really?
Well, we benefited from it, so.
Yeah, because she really had. She was in the Fantastics,
Right.
and as I said before, whatever happened to Baby Jane keeps coming into my mind, but
She replaced Rita Gardner in the
yeah,
Fantastic.
she was the first one in the
Yes.
Fantastics,
Right.
To replace her, and she did a lot of regional theaters and was very successful at it. But I just think she got some bad advice from people at the time.
Wow. I did a show recently about baby names, about, fans who name their children after characters or actors. And I can't tell you how many Lisas. It really is astounding how many Lisas from Eileen, from that character. And it's interesting because, she was a good girl at the beginning, but, at a time.
Yeah, she left me for a shoe
She's a little
salesman,
bit.
which I thought was really interesting.
Say that again, Don?
She left me for a shoe salesman.
Willie Loman.
Played by
I
Jim
have done that in real life too. No.
You know Jim Pritchett, who was on the Doctors for years. He played the shoe salesman. His motto was, "You should be in our shoes." Well, it turns out he was in my shoes and also in his bed. But anyway, yeah, that was the first schism in the Bob and Lisa.
The shoe salesman.
Yeah, the shoe salesman.
The shoe.
Jim Pritchett.
Real heel.
He had no soul.
That's right. Oh, Hillary.
Oh, no,
But a
no.
loafer, basically.
You've missed me, haven't you, Greg? Haven't you, Don?
That was phenomenal. She really broke ground, though, as the first real vixen, but brought vulnerability to Lisa. How do you think, especially the ladies here, she changed the way women were portrayed on daytime TV?
Well, very much so. And I felt that her character had a profound effect on what they did with Barbara Ryan, and had a profound effect on me and how I approached the role as well. And seeing what she did and learning about her and her approach helped me, because I had a really hard time when Doug Marland transitioned Barbara Ryan from the good girl to the bitch on wheels that she became. And Eileen really helped me through that, because that's exactly the same journey that Lisa took when she was younger as well. But
Well, it was done very well.
There would have been no Erica on All My Children. There would have been none of the big vixens that showed up later on, had it not been for Eileen and Lisa on World Turns. She was really a
Rachel on Another World.
Yeah, right. Rachel on Another World. Exactly. Gregg, when we sat down in 2020, you described Eileen as one of your favorite people and one of the most unique individuals. Can you elaborate on both of those things?
Well, she was completely unique, and anybody that met her knew that. You couldn't not. But there was I didn't know. All I knew was that I was going to have a mom who was a soap diva, and she turned out to be one of the sweetest people I've ever met. We stayed in touch afterwards. When I would come into New York, we would go have dinner. And I just adored her. I don't think it was easy not to. So.
Really true.
Greg, the last time I saw you, was that at a show of Eileen's that we both went to?
The last time?
The last time I saw you, weren't we at a show of Eileen's at the Metropolitan Room?
Ah.
Think about that. I was trying to think about it, but I think that's right.
I don't remember.
Well, Ellen and Hillary, you both had the pleasure of having her as your mother-in-law. What were your first impressions, when you started working opposite her on set?
Well, I took over for Margaret. And so there was already a relationship that had been established as far as Margot and Lisa was concerned. But I was in the baby stages of, I was personally having children. Gregg and I were hiding my pregnancies. And it became very difficult for Eileen because she had a clause in her contract that she couldn't be made a grandmother. And it wasn't about keeping Tom from having children. It was that she didn't want to get stashed away and not have good storyline. So it wasn't a literal, I don't want to be a grandmother. It was, don't put me in a corner as you would a grandmother kind of thing. But when I was pregnant and we were hiding it, and then they made me pregnant and I lost the baby, fans got really angry, and they got angry at her. And I remember her coming to me and she was really upset. And she said, I didn't I didn't tell them to not have your child. I mean, she was really, really genuinely upset. And I thought that was so dear and so sweet. And she didn't owe me any explanations. I understood what it was all about. I mean, it's just sort of the way it goes. But she was, I mean, that touched me, that she was just so,
Yeah, I just
it was that
listened.
she was getting a lashback, but she was more concerned about how I felt. And it was like, I'm fine. Don't worry about it. I'm fine. So then they did have Tom and Margot did have another child. It was a different Tom at that point that I had a baby with. So,
is there a map? This is very
do we need the family tree? It was
Yes,
interesting.
I think we do.
I listened.
Well, it was actually Hal's baby, but anyway.
Oh, right, yeah.
I remember that.
Al, who was Al?
Hal.
Benjamin Henderson.
Ben. Oh,
Hal. Yeah. I listened to Eileen describe this, not that moment, Hillary, but when she went up to Erna Phillips and wanted the clause in her contract. And it really was about, Eileen said, Erna asked why she wanted that clause, why she didn't want to be a grandmother. And she goes, because then I'll be old and Lisa isn't old.
Right.
And how
It was
smart.
just that story.
Good for her. Good
How
for her
smart,
for,
right?
for looking out for herself.
Very
as an
forward
actor.
thinking. Very forward thinking. And that was in the 60s, right, John?
Right.
Think about
Or a little later than that, probably. But I remember when she changed her billing to and I said, I'd like to change mine to however.
Or and then.
Right, didn't work.
Oh, plus.
It's so true. Ellen, anything to add? Playing opposite her.
Oh, just it was. There were two women that it was a Nantucket sleigh ride, her and Liz Hubbard, and I loved it. I just loved it because I didn't really adhere much to the script myself. I remember Scott saying about you, Hillary, all those names. And it was, but we also had clipboards. So I could write all my names down. I did everything to try and, remember. But speaking of grandma, she had a long conversation with me about maybe Adam and Casey should call her Banana instead of, well, actually it was just Adam then. Call her Banana instead of Grandma. That's how much she didn't want to be Grandma. Yeah.
The funny thing about that, even though she didn't want to be a grandma on the screen, I think one of her real sadnesses in her life was that she never had her own children.
Right.
And the fact that my children were so close to her and called her Auntie Eileen, and we did all kinds of things together, her house, my house, whatever, over the years, holidays. And it was very special. Kelsey was my oldest, was here this past week, and we were talking about some things with Eileen because Kelsey grew up at the studio, and saw us all those decades. And she was so dear to my children. She was so good to them, and so sweet. And she was Auntie Eileen.
That's nice.
Not Banana?
No.
Pudding. Even
my hands are blurry.
Your hands are blurry.
We're all a little bit blurry at this age. It doesn't matter.
Can I walk around with a blurry thing so I
You can, but society frowns
You're
upon
even
it.
more than everybody else. You're lighter. Her lighting is.
I don't know. I don't know what's wrong.
It's a setting. It's a setting. It's your
I know. I
background.
can't figure out.
Yeah.
Are there any bloopers you remember with Eileen? Anything that
Oh, mostly. Oh, damn. Oh, fuck.
Oh, well, she was. I mean,
Yeah.
she's the mouth of a sailor. I learned how
Yeah.
to swear like a sailor from Eileen. My children go, Mom. I went, blame Eileen. Blame Eileen. I learned everything I know from Eileen. And also, and I've said this before, she would have every day, she would have the New York Times, the Daily News, the New York Post, and the Wall Street Journal delivered paper to either her house or her dressing room. And she would read them cover to cover. She was extremely knowledgeable, literate, and aware of the world around her. She was nothing like Lisa in that respect. She was a very smart woman.
Right.
And very political. Very political. I went to several different dinners with her over the years, to meet Rosalind Carter, to meet I'm trying to who else? A number of other
Barbara Bush.
I'm really old, so I gotta think about this.
No, Barbara Bush. She has a story about Barbara Bush.
No. I never met Barbara.
Oh, okay. Well,
Bush.
she did.
She did.
Okay.
She did.
But no, she was connected. And yeah, very political in that way, and influenced me in becoming more aware, which I am. And
yeah, is there anything you learned from watching Eileen, or somebody who had the career she did, or advice she gave?
Well, I will say that my time on As the World Turns was probably one of the richest as far as depth and friendships and feeling creative. I think watching everybody and how they interacted and the sense of family was really made me feel very proud to be on As the World Turns.
Calhoun, the producer, then.
Well, Calhoun.
it
It was
was
Mary Alice Bunham first.
Yeah.
Yeah, when I came on, it was Mary Alice Bunham because we were still over at 76th Street.
Yeah.
Yep.
And you remember we used to have AM PMS, which was if you were in the last set of the morning or the first set of the afternoon and they didn't finish the morning, your set would be behind the last set, so you weren't going to be done until after the dinner break. So that that was the AM PMS.
Those were the 24-hour shows.
Yep.
We were over budget by $3 million, and it was all overtime.
It was all because of Eileen.
Studio.
Bad studio.
Because of Eileen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, we would go till midnight back in those days. Remember that? We'd go to midnight, come
God.
back at 6 o'clock in
And
the
I
morning.
was commuting to Boston because I'd just gotten married and moved to Boston, and I was commuting to Boston, and it was like back on my
How did
sister's
you do
couch.
that?
And I was still
You're
living.
the tallest man in the world, aren't you, Hillary?
Beg your
Your
pardon?
husband is 7 feet tall, isn't he?
It's been just about 6'7".
I remember standing in his shadow one time.
Hey, Greg, we lost your picture. Are you there?
I am.
What are you doing?
Did you close your eyes? We can't.
You
see
know,
you.
I can't tell you.
Oh.
Where's my? Hold on a second. How
You
come
might have to go in and
Where's
come back.
my? Hold on a second.
Oh my God.
He did say hold
There's
All
on.
right,
a
I'm
little
gonna do that.
camera icon at the bottom. Did you
second.
hit?
Oh, maybe. No, you might have done something.
You might have hit the
Oh,
camera
fine.
icon.
It's my
Don't
fault.
worry, Larry's working on it, so he'll be.
Oh, Larry
All
was
right, wait.
having trouble. I felt bad. I wish he was here.
Yeah, I
and he
wanted
sent
to
his
see
love.
Yeah, me
Larry.
too.
Yeah.
Well,
All right,
speaking
let
of
me.
Larry,
I'm gonna go away and come back.
Okay, thank you.
But come
Ellen,
back. We miss you already.
yeah.
Ellen, when
Well,
we
speak-
spoke in
speaking-
2020, you shared that you had gone over to Eileen's apartment when she still lived in New York after the show had ended to interview her.
Well, that's what I was just gonna tell you. Dawn was talking about, the plays that she did and how she'd go from the studio and right away into a show. And we've all done that. We've all done shows at night. And that's why I was hoping Larry would be here because he's like the champion of, doing theater at night. And I did it a little bit, but she was talking about how she'd been doing it, and Helen Wagner got cast in something and just didn't know how she was going to go about it. And I think the studio was on the east side, but not the one that you guys were all up in, Hillary. And she said, and I took her and I walked her to the shuttle, and we went over to, the Broadway area but she said, I did that for a while and just got her used to it. And I just thought, God, those are the days, man. You do live theater during the day, and then you do live theater at night. And the reason I went over is because I wanted to, this is the last time I saw her, and we had tea. We always had tea. And I had thought about writing a one-woman show about Erna Phillips. It would be a great show, because the way I understand it, she acted out all the roles, and she had, well, Don, you would know, she had lots of rules. And so Eileen just told me some stories about Eileen and Erna, and how Erna just sort of spanked her a little bit, but ultimately let her do what she wanted, because she was such a spirit. She was such a spirit.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, Erna didn't want her to say her name was Eileen.
You never mentioned Erna's last name, Erna Phillips.
Phillips, yeah.
Yeah.
She wanted her to be Lisa, not Eileen, right? When she was out and about.
I even wrote for about a year and a half for the show.
Did you?
Yeah. And I wrote for Erna, which was
Wow.
not only was the show live when you could lose your job every day, but you had to deal with Erna Phillips about the scripts. So I had two jobs that I could lose in any moment.
No stress there.
I did it
No
for
stress.
a year and a half, and I was going nuts. There were only there were only three of us writing the show, and I was on almost every day too. So
Well, you wrote yourself in.
no, well, that was a funny thing, because P&G said, well, he can't write on the show that he's on. So they put me on Guiding Light for a while. And then she got really annoyed, and I wrote for, they wound up writing World Turns, a couple, not the Ellises, the other couple, the Soderberghs.
Right.
So I wrote for them for a little bit, and then Erna said if he can write for them, he can write for me.
That's who hired me. The Soderberghs were there when I got hired.
Yeah.
Ellen, you really need to still write this. I think that would be great.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we'll see. It's hard to write. I've been writing since I left the show, I've been writing. And writing is one thing, but learning the business of it is just, it's really hard.
That's always the trip up.
Yeah. And I was real lucky. I got one script in right away to Anvil Entertainment. And we were redlining contracts, and then the strikes hit. It's like, and now it's gone, just completely gone. But you know what taught me how to write? Soap operas. Because we all rewrite, we all sort of guide our characters and write.
I mean, the impact of these shows is so underestimated over the years. I mean, here we are, the World Turns has been off the air since 2010,
15 years.
Yeah. I mean, it's
and none
crazy.
of us have aged a bit.
I'll be right back.
Not at all. Gregg,
Where is she going?
she's coming.
She's gone to Blurry Land. When I was doing One Life to Live, I was also doing a sitcom in LA.
Yes.
Called Something Wilder. And when we would take hiatus there, so I shot in New York on the show on Mondays, and I'd fly out Monday night, and then Tuesday through Friday I'd be in LA, and then I'd fly back Saturday morning and have the weekend with my family, and then back to work on Monday, and then I do that for 3 weeks, and then we'd have a week hiatus. And when I came back to Something Wilder, they said, "Oh, how was your week off?" And I said, "Oh, I don't know. I shot 6 shows."
Mm-hmm.
And they were like, you did what? 6 1-hour shows. And no one could understand how daytime actors did it. No one could understand. It was mind-boggling to them, the work that we did and the fact that we just did it, and having to learn lines, on and on the next day, easy in, easy out, that kind of thing. Unfortunately, my brain is so good with easy in, easy out that I'll meet somebody and as soon as they're out of my sight, they're gone out of my mind. But so this is a very dear community to me, and Lisa being, Eileen being part of it, Don, Larry, all of the Henderson, all the people that really just started in this really built a wonderful community for actors. And we were the blue collar workers of the entertainment field. We raised all the money for the primetime shows.
But I have to say, when Broadway actors
I think most fans
came in all the time, they would come in and be amazed at what we could do. So being the blue collar and the workers is like, but it's a certain stage that's just fascinating and fun beyond any other stage.
Oh, and it was a great learning lesson.
It's great. Yeah. All of you should have done it for like 20 years live and see.
No.
You'd all look like me.
I was going to say, is that where the gray hair came in back then? Because I would have been gray.
It was so different. It was all really so different. And the beauty of videotape changed the whole thing. And it made for the kind of productions we could do. But it also gave an awful lot of people the chance to do it again and again and again, which we had none of that. You did it once, and you got off the air, and hopefully you learned your lines.
You knocked a wall over, it stayed over. Crazy. Crazy.
Greg, Henderson Forsyth used to tell the story about when it was live and Kennedy was shot.
I was on the air when he was shot.
You were on the air too, right?
Hank and I had
Helen.
Well, there was a bulletin. There was a bulletin that came up, and then they came back to the show after the bulletin, and Phil, cameraman, said there was a break. And the cameraman said, "Don't tell the actors what the president's been shot." And we got cued, and we did our scene, and that was when they finally left and went to Crown. It was really someday.
One of those moments that everyone knows exactly where they were, what they were doing.
Right? Yeah.
Galvanizing. Yeah.
Absolutely. And, we can't forget, Eileen was, I might be wrong, but the only daytime actor who was given a primetime television show from her character.
Yeah, I was on it, and so was Hank. Hank and I did it too.
Our Private World.
Right.
1965.
There's interesting people on that.
John,
Marty Wilson was on that.
Who?
John, you
Marty
went over
Wilson.
to the show? You went over to Our Private World?
No, that was the ABC show that Erna put on. I forget what.
No, the show that Eileen did, Our Private World. You did that?
Yeah, it was a nighttime show. They did They did about 6 or 7. It was a summer replacement, and Mary, a really good actress. Now she's Mary Smith. Does that sound right?
Stewart?
No,
Mary Stewart?
not Mary Stewart. Anyway, they had a good cast on the show. It was a live show, and Hank and I did the first episode. And we were all supposed to rotate into it. But it was all based on Lisa.
Right.
Yeah. But what was the show that she did? Erna, after she left World Turns and went to ABC, she did a show, Colleen, that sounds like that, My Private World, but it's...
Eileen did?
No.
I think the title was Lisa something, wasn't it?
No.
No?
I don't remember Erna going to ABC, and if she did, it
I
was
mean-
for a world apart.
She
Chip
wanted
just
me
said
to-
a world apart. A world apart.
Yeah,
Don,
and
great.
she wanted me to go with that show, and I didn't do that.
Wow, that's
That was-
crazy.
I didn't want to move anywhere. As long as the checks didn't.
You'd
bounce,
already ridden the elevator from the 5th floor to the 1st floor. You were done.
Yeah.
That's enough. That's enough commuting for me.
That's right. That's right. Greg, come back.
Uh-oh, did he leave again?
He's in the dark again.
Oh no, I think he might be getting a text message, or because he's using his phone, so that could have.
Greg, pay
Oh,
your
that's
electric
what it is.
bill.
There you go.
Your electric bill. Greg, come back again, though. Oh my God, what do you think
Anytime.
Eileen would think of us celebrating her today?
She would
Oh,
love it.
she'd love it.
She'd be
She'd
so
be
happy.
pissed that she wasn't here.
Yeah.
Chip
Yeah,
Chip put
she
on
would be
a
very,
birthday
very
party. Chip put on a birthday party for
For her
her. And she
90th.
she was in heaven. You know, I put on makeup tonight just for her because she wouldn't go anywhere.
And makeup.
without
just
makeup.
for her.
Yeah, I put on makeup. I can't
She would
see
yell
it
at you, I'm sure, if you
She'd
didn't have.
slap me silly, but she was so happy. She was happy that she moved back home, and she was in a safe, lovely place.
Tell her
And-
brother.
Yeah. She's a little Southern belle.
She really, yeah.
Where
I mean,
where was she when she passed?
Black
North
Mountain.
Carolina.
Yeah,
Carolina, in her brother's
With-
home.
with her brother.
In her brother's home. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh.
There he is. He's back. He's back. He's back.
He's buffering.
Are
you
about
buffered?
your mutual love of
Wait, you're
cabaret
both-
with Eileen? Did you ever get to perform with her?
No. That would have been something. That
I
would have
did.
been really a trip. You
What?
did.
On stage?
Yeah.
Where?
Yeah.
Where?
She brought me in as her guest at her very last cabaret show, and we did the song from Gigi that Maurice Chevalier
Your
and
funny little Sunny did.
Hermione Jingle did with all new lyrics. I remember it well.
She made them up.
Oh no, we had whoever, I don't remember who was writing on staff at that point, but somebody wrote for us. It was really fun.
Wow.
I
Really.
did a record with her of that.
You did?
Yeah, on one of her many albums.
Oh my God!
I think it was destroyed somewhere.
Oh, I need to find that stat.
Oh my
That-
God, little Donnie Hastings, you have just been around.
I know. Well,
You've done everything.
I'm 107.
Looks
And,
good,
and
doesn't
does
it?
he not look incredible?
Yes,
God,
it
you
does.
look so
Amazing.
good,
I feel
Not
good.
even mummified.
So
Yes.
not even blurry.
Thanks to my beautiful young wife.
How is your beautiful young wife?
Where is she?
She's great. She's great.
Hello.
Is she
She's,
in the room? She in the room?
No,
Can she say hi?
no, she's out. We have guests at the house.
She
right
she
now.
helped set it up. I saw her briefly.
My staff. I call my
Okay.
staff. Talk to
She's
my
not
staff.
off. She's not off visiting Greg, is she?
Right. No, she.
All those blackouts.
No, she's. We have her sister-in-law in to visit. Les's mom is 99
Oh my God!
and living in a
Look who's
independent
here.
living at a facility. Oh, you have a golden retriever.
I have a little baby 2-year-old. Yeah.
Oh,
There
well,
she goes.
Archie was on.
What's her
television
name?
Earlier. Archie is 4.
Oh, his
Don
name is
had-
Hudson.
Oh, and
Yeah.
Colleen.
Oh.
Oh.
I mean,
Don,
those little
you're working
dogs.
with
You should have
animals.
Little dogs. Like
This
Kathy
is
had
little-
little white things that used to walk around the studio.
She
Mal-
did. She
Maltese.
did. She and Kathy had a little dog that she
Kathy
brought in all the time.
Kathy had a teacup.
Yeah.
Eileen had Maltese and Shih Tzu, and Boo, who I named after Kim's nickname for Barbara, which
Yeah.
was Boo. I named her Boo, and she's a combination. She's Maltese and Shih Tzu.
Very
Ah.
cute.
She's 7.5, and she's a theater girl. She goes
So
everywhere.
would that be a mushu?
No, she's a Maltese.
Wushu guy can.
She's a Maltese. She's a mutt, is what she is.
I have a.
I get you. I get you.
I have a
A bushu.
photo tribute at the end for Eileen. And Greg and Hillary, I don't have photos of you, but there are pictures of Ms. Eileen with her dogs, which is beautiful. Stephen Bergman shared some photos with me.
Oh God.
She
Oh,
loved her
Stephen.
dogs.
You know, she named her dogs after Laurence Olivier, Ethel Barrymore. She named all of her dogs after great actors. It was just so much. All of her Shih Tzus.
What, before we go, what are some of your, a favorite memory if you think back, or what will you miss most, Don? I know you were so close.
I miss her humor and her, there was a sweetness about her that it's hard to describe. I just thought she was an exceptional human being.
Greg?
Exceptional human being. And, a couple of times when I was on the show, we actually had dinner as well. And I found her she was an extraordinary person. I felt incredibly close to her, and yet we really didn't spend that much time together. She was a complete, and for me anyway, there are a lot of very colorful characters in daytime. She was among the most colorful. She was, and I say that as a wonderful thing. She was. There was no one.
She paved the yellow brick road, really, for everybody in daytime.
There he goes again.
Easy come, easy go.
Yeah.
Oh God! Can you see me now or no?
No.
We can hear
No?
you though.
We can hear
your
you though.
beautiful voice.
You can
All right,
stay.
From the void.
I'll just do voiceover.
But she really did, right? She paved the road,
Mm.
She was a groundbreaker. I do remember, and you guys may remember this, when she got a brand new apartment in a brand new building. And it was one of the tallest residential towers that was in New York City at the time. Over on East 66th Street or something. I don't remember. It was just huge, really, really tall. And she gotten her apartment there. And it took her a while to get in because they were still working. And she was so excited. And she moved in. And I happened to work with her the next day that she was in. And she was like beside herself. She was just, I was like, well, you moved into your new place. How was it? She goes, I'm seasick. It's blowing. Everything was moving. I guess the building was so tall that it had a sway to it. And she said she thought she was on a boat all night and she was nauseous. And she had this wonderful sort of self-deprecating way. She goes, I'll just pretend that I was drunk or something. I don't know, but we'll see how the day goes. It was very funny. She stayed in the apartment though.
Ellen?
Oh, we can't hear you, Ellen.
Ellen,
You have mute on.
Muted.
Your microphone's muted.
You muted.
There.
you
There
go.
she is.
Yeah, it went out, so I didn't hear the middle of that story. I'm sorry, Hillary, but I'm sure it was perfect for her. I remember her as a true steel magnolia. She was a Southern belle through and through, gracious, lovely, but would bite you if you crossed her or any of her friends. Or she had a little thing with Helen all the time. She would just tell Helen to just
With who?
stop. Helen Wagner.
Oh.
Yeah, she and Helen were kind of, like that a little bit. But towards the end, I got to spend more time with her. She had a dressing room downstairs when we were in the studios out in Brooklyn. And so on the way back from wardrobe, I would stop like every morning. I'd stop up at Don's every morning when I would come in.
Call me Little Donnelly. What did you used to call me?
Little Donnie Hastings.
Little Donnelly, yeah.
from your TV show from years ago, from the 50s. But yeah, I would stop and talk to, I'd stop and visit everybody. Everybody couldn't get rid of me. Anyway, but I just remember her being, just this lovely, charming, giggly, beautiful woman who would she could do anything. She would steal herself and do anything, but she made sure she looked good. One time she was doing something, a scene where she had to pass out on a sofa, and she didn't trust the stage manager, I don't know who it was at the time, to take care of her. So she asked me, she's like, come here. How should I, how should I? And I just said, just put your chin up, just like this, just be open. And she did. And it was just little things like that, because she was a pretty woman and she wanted to be, beautiful, even if she was passed out, like, any of the Margos would have been like,
That really is Eileen. How did you describe her and Liz Hubbard earlier? What did you say? Navigating this.
Nantucket.
That's Nantucket sleigh ride. And here's one thing I wanted to say. We've the beautiful women who from As the World who've gone on is Helen, and then Kathy, and then Liz, and now Eileen.
Lisa Brown.
Lisa Brown.
Yeah, we've lost a lot of good ones. People who really were groundbreakers for so many different. Yeah. We had fun. We had a good time.
You had a strong group. But what I was fascinated is what was it like watching Liz and Eileen work together if they were both the same way?
I don't think they put them together very much.
They didn't, but you know what? They enjoyed each other.
Oh, yeah.
They really enjoyed each other a lot.
I thought there was fireworks whenever they were together. They were great.
Totally.
And good chemistry. It was really good chemistry.
And socially, I mean, they were so different, completely different, from different backgrounds completely. But even socially, they were so much fun together because they were both pistols. They were real.
Well, Liz had a rebirth when she came on As the World Turns. I worked with her on The Doctors.
That's right.
Oh, really?
And she was,
I know,
very in her box and
Doctor.
Professional and that sort of thing. So when she came on As the World Turns, she got a license to go and be her theatrical self. And she did. It was great to see her just, be there. And I think it invigorated Eileen as well.
Yeah. Hey, Don, did you get to write for her on The Doctors?
I never wrote The Doctors.
I know, I'm joking.
I did write for her on World Turns.
Oh, did
Which
you?
was fun. The thing that was fun is I knew their voices. I knew who they were. I knew the characters, and it was fun to write things. And especially when we would go to the pre-read and they hated the script and I had written it. So that was one of those. And the funny thing is, one of the things that when you wrote for Erna, you could do anything you wanted with the script. You couldn't change the tag.
Right.
So you always had to write to the tag.
Right.
And when people wanted to change the tag, I would say, don't do that. Don't do that. Even though they didn't know I wrote this, they didn't know that I was writing it then. I'd say, don't do that. You're going to be in hot water. And then the phone would ring when we got off the air. Who changed that tag on the last?
Who changed my tag?
Colleen.
She loved Eileen. She really did. She really, with all of her iron-fisted rule of As the World Turns, we really took to Eileen. And Eileen, she dealt with somebody like Erna, which was not easy.
Mm-hmm.
And did it well.
Well, Eileen, we went through a lot of life together, a lot of
ups and downs,
messages and men and things and a lot of shopping. And she would take me around with her to all of her salons where they knew her, and she had things made for her, which I'd never seen that kind of thing before. And then when I would spend the night at her house many a time when we were working late, she would cook for me. She would cook for me, and she would always fix me a ribeye steak, a baked potato, and creamed spinach.
Perfect dinner.
Perfect.
That does sound like a perfect.
And she was a perfect hostess. And she, did you ever see the apartment on Central Park West, Don?
Yeah. We went up and watched took the kids up there to watch the Thanksgiving Day parade.
We've done that too. Yeah, we've done that
we
too.
did too.
Yeah, and I mean that apartment was wild,
Gorgeous.
fabulous.
Gorgeous.
Yeah, and it, you know, we were really close. This was her passing was a hard one, and for all of us, and for me personally, and Boo. And, she's sorely missed, and what a life she led. What a beautiful, and she was so loving. So loving.
And the legacy she left behind, you know, with this, people still talk about Lisa. There are children out there in the world, you know, with that name because of her. It's crazy. It's really beautiful. Thank you all so much for being here. I know she'd be smiling. It's really, Don, stay exactly the same.
I think he will.
I think he has.
Right?
What?
Please, all of you, Hillary, Ellen, Colleen, Gregg, where you disappear.
Gregg, wherever you are.
Thank you, Alan. Thank you for
This was
doing
great.
this.
And thank you all.
Thank you for including me.
Good
You
to
are
see
so
you
welcome.
all.
Everybody, stay well.
Don, you said you're coming to Florida.
Are you in Florida? I thought you were in California.
Oh, then he's going to California, not Florida.
I actually was laughing because I was looking at everyone's background. I mean, Alan is sort of, you know, got the whole sort of waiting interview room kind of going on in his living room. Very cozy, comfort. Don's invited us into his boudoir. There's a bed in the background.
I thought maybe you thought it was my hospital bed, but it isn't.
You know, Colleen's got this sort of movie star kind of
thing
going on here.
I'm on a lake.
You
I
know.
got water right there.
I have a bar and a palm tree.
I have a palm tree, but it's up there.
And happy early birthday, Ellen Dolan, my fellow Libra.
Oh, thank you. I'm turning 70.
Oh my God.
Really?
What?
And my background is my basement, Hillary.
Oh,
They
my
make me
like
live in
a,
a basement now.
It's
it
a
looks like
warmly
a
lit basement.
like the Poconos, like a resort.
No,
Hey,
I'm up
Ellen,
in the
was
Hudson
Doug at that
Valley.
meeting that Hegseth called down at the Pentagon?
Somehow he missed that.
Oh,
No, he's at West Point now, actually, as we speak, or in a bar somewhere. I don't know.
Oh my God.
And Hillary, congratulations. You're about to be a grandmother, right?
Oh.
Yay!
Again, yes.
Yay!
Again, yes. My daughter lives in Doha, Qatar, so it's been a very interesting
Oh my
few
God.
months
holy
with the
man.
bombs and everything else. So I leave on Sunday and I head over to Doha, and she's going to be delivering on the 16th of October, her second.
Oh, that's my birthday.
It is?
It'll be
Okay,
a
there you
beautiful
go.
baby.
I will be thinking of you. She's having a little girl.
You won't
and
be thinking
so
of me. You're gonna be thinking about
I
bombs
will
and babies.
think of you, Ellen. I will think of you. But that will be number 4, and then I'm expecting my 5th grandchild in March.
Wow.
I am.
Wow.
Time flies.
Granny. You are.
Meanwhile,
a
is Larry Bryggman still having children?
No,
Well, he doesn't know either.
I cut him off. I told him I did the operation. No.
Don has said no more for sure.
more.
Well, let's see if Gregg comes back so we can say goodbye to Gregg one last time.
Gregg, come back, my darling. Where
And
are
there will
you?
be
I need
a
you
video
to say
for
goodbye.
Eileen at the end. So everybody stay till
Where-
the end, please.
Will it be here here on
Yes,
this
it will.
stage?
It will. Absolutely.
Because you put up a picture before of Don in
Greg,
the back of the
I
book,
did.
and I couldn't see it.
Oh, you couldn't
Hi,
see.
Greg.
Let's
You have
see
to
if
stay on this time.
Let's see if you can see. Can you see it?
Yeah.
Oh, look at
Oh
that.
my goodness.
No, I don't. Oh, there it is. Yeah. Look at those babies.
She almost looks like Princess Leia.
She does a little
The
bit.
crawlers.
That's her. That's what I remember. That was like when I first came on. Look at Dashing Dawn.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
There's your mom and dad, Greg. Thank you all so much. Please enjoy this tribute to Miss
We did.
Eileen.
Thank you for getting us together, Alan.
Thank you.
Yes. Thank you,
So good
Alan.
to see all of you.
You
Mwah.
too.
Thank you. Good to see everyone.
And you every once in a while, Greg.